How's it going, everyone, and welcome to my series, How to Be a Millionaire in New World. In this series, I'm going to start with a fresh account and take you all along with me as I try various gold making methods until I reach the New World gold cap of 1 million gold. But first, please consider giving the video a like and subscribing to the channel with notifications on so be notified whenever a new episode goes live. Now, let's go make some gold. Each episode in this series will see me going around, researching and trying out a variety of different gold making methods, before showing you my results, and giving you an overall progress update on my gains for said episode as I make my way to the coveted gold cap of 1 million gold. Once I make 1 million gold, and the series is complete, I will then give it all away, in a way decided on by you, the community, whether it's splitting it up amongst you all in my server, or by hosting a massive winner-takes-all type tournament. I'll take all of your ideas and suggestions on what to do with the gold, and then we'll vote on what to do with it from there. But now that we've gone over the basic outlines of the series, it's time to get started. So I'm going to be needing a new character. When it came to deciding on which server to pick, I wanted it to be a fresh start server in my region, because I think gold making in those servers is more interesting. But I also wanted one with as many community members in it as possible, in case we decide to split up the gold between everyone at the end of the series. So I threw up a poll in the channel to get a feel for which server most of you are in, and ended up deciding on Cathasia. The results were close, but hopefully we'll get a few mergers sooner or later, and more of us will end up together by the end of the series. I then went on to choose my look, and hopped on a ship to Aeternum. With my new character made, it was time to unlock the most important thing on the account, the trading post, so it was time to get questing. 20 minutes of questing later, I found myself in Pridewind, with the trading post unlocked. I made sure during the quests to get all of my tools built, as that would come in handy very soon when I started my money makers. And I also opted for a Firestaff Rapier build, so I can have high range damage and good mobility that I believe will speed up any gold making methods I end up trying. Also, in this period, a very kind stranger named Priscilla Combatir was on the beach helping out new players, and giving them some gold to get a head start in the game with. It was very nice of her, and I didn't want to turn down her generosity, but it would be an unfair advantage in the series to take the free gold from her, so I passed it along to another fellow new player, who I'm sure will make good use of it. Thank you for your generosity though, Priscilla. But after I gave away the gold, I did a couple more quests just up to level 10, getting a nice new pickaxe and a bag so I could hold more loot, until it was time to go out and start making some gold. From here, I went onto the trading post to look up prices in this server, and I noticed a long-time favorite low-level method of mine would work in this server, and that was banana farming. This would utilize probably my favorite trade skill in the game, in logging, so I could get that leveled up a bit, and start building my cash stack up, so I could open up more gold-making methods in the future. If you're also a fan of logging, and want to make gold with the skill, I put a guide together going over the best ways to make gold with logging, and be the most efficient with the skill as well. It'll be linked in the top right in the video description, so check that out if that's something that would interest you. It goes over the method I'm about to try out now, banana farming, in more detail. Before I got banana farming, I decided I wanted to change up my look, as I really wasn't feeling the starter look I had on. And considering this guy was going to be a millionaire, it was only right that he got a flashier, pay-to-win skin on him. So I went with the Heart of Malice pre-order deluxe skin. With my guy looking like an absolute stud now, it was time to head over to my favorite banana farming spot, which luckily enough was just outside of Pridewind, and start grinding. It became apparent very quickly that without better equipment and more logging luck, this method would be very unprofitable, so I decided to only spend 20 minutes here, getting my logging up to level 50 for future methods, before getting back on the leveling grind. I only got 29 bananas during that period, due to my low level and horrible equipment, but as I went to sell them, I noticed a few more going for a lot less than market price, so I bought those all up, and then put the 51 I was left with up to sell, while I moved on to other things. I got a good amount of greenwood from this grind as well, but with prices as low as they are at the moment, I decided to throw it into my woodworking skill instead, to open the account up to more gold making methods later on. I also used up all of the resin I acquired while out grinding at the same time to get my logging to an even higher level. But with method 1 being a bust, it was back to the drawing boards. It was clear to me that with such a low level and mediocre tools and equipment, it would be a massive waste of time going and doing methods now. I could stand to make way more gold simply by following the main story quest, plus it would open up the map more for me, giving me more options going forward. The quest would also give me better tools and equipment, making me a lot more efficient. So that's what I did. I spent the next hour grinding out the main story quest, till I was level 17, and my cash stack rose from 190 gold all the way up to 540. But even though that's not a massive jump, I managed to loot a ton of items I could sell on for a nice profit as well, in the process, as seen on screen. That's because while I was questing, I made sure to grab any chests I saw in the open world, and resources I could gather as well. Based on prices in this server, it looks like a lot of these items hold a very decent value. Things like supply crates and chests tend to have items that are pretty scarce when servers are new, so it's really worth making sure you loot them whenever you see one. As the server gets older, and the trading post starts getting more full of these items, they tend to be less worth your time, but if you're on a newer server, for sure go out of your way for all of these. Also, I figured since the Turkolon event was going on, I could use this event as a great way to make some gold, so as I was questing, I made sure to kill any turkeys I saw and skin them. Doing this not only gave me the 3 daily coin sacks from the event, which would net me a bit of gold, but the best part was the Turkolon skinny knife I managed to get, which is an insanely massive upgrade from the initial one I crafted back on the beach, and it only requires level 15 to use, so this drop opened up so many gold making methods for the account. Because of this one drop, I reshaped my whole plan going forward and made skinning a massive part of my future money making plans, when initially, I was going to go down the logging and mining paths. If you enjoy the skinning skill, I also have a video on how to make gold and be efficient with the skill, so I'll link that video as well, as it'll go over some of the methods I'm going to be doing a bit more in depth. But before I got onto the skinning methods, I had to post up all of the loot I gathered on the trading post, so they could sell over time, and I decided to call it a day after that. I had work for the next several days, so I wasn't able to log in, but eventually I found a bit of free time and decided to jump on the account and see what sold, and put up some more buy orders that would hopefully net me some nice profits in the near future. I mainly stuck to cooking ingredients, as I saw a good price difference in buy and sell orders, and also decided to put some money into wood and coins. But with all the buy orders placed, I had an extra hour of spare time, and although I was planning on doing some skinning methods, I saw I was getting close to level 20, which would unlock the massive improvement of mounts to this character, so I figured I'd knock out some of the quests to get there, so I could speed up my skinning methods immensely. After an hour of questing, I finally hit the milestone I was after. I went ahead and got my mount. Following the pay-to-win millionaire look I was going for with this character, I decided I needed a store mount to match the paid-for skin, so I threw on a flashy lion mount, called it money, and headed back on over to the trading post to see if any of my orders went through. With not much time to play over the next several days, I'd only get on the account for a couple of minutes every other day to throw up some buy and sell orders, but other than that, things stood pretty still for a while. Eventually though, I'd get a day off work. I was in the mood for some gold making, so I jumped on the character and got back to work. I was having relative success so far with some of my buy and sell orders, and managed to have the cash stack up to 1,881 gold, but I didn't want to make all the gold for this series off of flipping alone, so I figured it was time to put my new skinning knife to the test. With the low character level, and low tracking and skinning level, I knew there was only one option for me when it came to skinning methods, and that was the low level rawhide method. Like mentioned in my gold making guide video, my favorite spot to do this is over in Windsward, just outside of the main town. I like to start out killing the wolves up the hill, before dropping down to the beach to clear out all the boars, and continue to do laps around here for as long as I was in the mood for. The only problem was, I hadn't unlocked Windsward yet, so I made the long journey over to the settlement, unlocked the fast travel point, and got to grinding. I didn't have a lot of time to play, so I decided to spend 30 minutes on this grind, so I could then look at the results after, and see if this method was worth continuing on doing at my level or not. This area has an abundance of herbs, berry plants, boars, wolves, and hemp scattered around, so I spent my time stocking up on as much of that as I could. In the 30 minutes I spent here, I managed to fill up my inventory 2 times. This is what I was left with. A good amount of items to sell, for a very easy relaxing grind. The bulk of my loot ended up being rawhide, hyssop, pork, and berries. I also saw on the trading post that turning my rawhide into coarse leather would only lose me a minimal amount of gold, so I made the call to do so, leveling up my leatherworking in the process, and also opening up a lot of future gold making opportunities with that trade skill. From there, I went ahead and put everything I gathered on the trading post and waited for it to sell. It all sold pretty quickly, and afterwards, I was left with a cash stack of 3,000 gold. Not a bad start to the account for episode 1. By the end of the episode, the account was sitting at level 22, with mounts unlocked, an amazing skinny knife from the Turklon event, a cash stack of 3,000 gold, and some decent trade skill levels as well. I'm nearing level 60 in all the main gathering skills, which will significantly improve my gold making speeds for future episodes. And this was all done with a final playtime on the account of 5 hours and 58 minutes. This does include a bit of AFK time, and a good chunk of questing time though. Now, I understand for some of you max level players out there, you might be thinking all of this time spent and only 3,000 gold? That's nothing. But as I build the account out, level the trade skills, reach max level, etc., so many more gold making opportunities will open up, and that's when the gold is going to start flying in, and we can start seeing some really crazy gold per hour numbers. These first episodes are all about setting the groundwork, and opening up future gold making possibilities. Even small things in New World, like daily coin sacks and bonus faction missions, are significantly nerfed for such low level characters, so that's something I for sure need to start working towards, is hitting the level cap, as they'll open up so many things for this character. So that's the plan for the next episode. Try some more methods out, mainly skinny methods to take advantage of my knife, and do some questing as well, to try and reach level cap. I'll also continue to throw up some buy and sell orders every now and then, informing you all on my biggest wins and losses, but I don't want to do flipping too much, as it'll just turn into a flipping series. I want the gold being made in this series to come from trying tons of different methods. Of course, not every method we try will work or be amazing, but we'll just keep trying things and see what works and what doesn't. I want to hear from you all though. What do you hope to see next from this series? And do you have any suggestions that can make this series even better? Let me know. Also, if you're enjoying it so far, please consider dropping a like on the video and subscribing to the channel with notifications on so you'll be notified when the next episode goes live. But until next time, have a good one. Thanks for watching another video, and a massive shout out to all the channel members and patrons seen on screen now. Links on how to become one in the video description. If you'd like to see episode 2 of this series, if it's available, click on the video to the left. Or, if you'd like to follow me on a cinematic lore journey through the main story quest of New World, click on the playlist to the right.